Hello guys and welcome to the Overnight Coder. If you're seeing this and you bought the premium video for how to set up a Listingpro directory, we're not just going to cover what I've got on the free channel or the free YouTube videos. Today we're going to go in depth about how to create a full site, and the game plan here is to do it as quick as possible so you guys can see that with a basic layout it doesn't take a month, it doesn't take a week. We're talking about an hour or two at tops. So let's jump right in. I have installed WordPress as well as installed the theme and have only put in my license, which you'll see here. So make sure you add your license code here. I said it was a test site, I activated it, and here we are here. Also, it popped up with the screen when I installed. That took me to the setup wizard. Setup wizard looks something like this. I ran the setup. I chose Elementor, so this video is going to be about Elementor. Went through the next steps, and that's where we're at currently. So that's all I've done here. I want to jump right in and just show you exactly what we're doing. I appreciate the purchase. I appreciate you following the channel, as well as if you're in our Facebook group, thank you so much for that. Let's jump right in. I am on Cloudways hosting, so you'll see a couple plugins here that came automatically with Cloudways, like Bot Protection and Breeze. Those were automatically here. I'm not going to be using Elementor Pro in the beginning of this video. Depending on the time, I might add Elementor Pro and show you some things that you can do. But this video is going to be for everybody, right? No additional plugins, no premium plugins, nothing like that. So jumping right in, we're going to need to double check the theme settings. But the first thing I like to do is just get my colors and everything into play. So an easy way to do that is if you already have an idea or have some set colors in mind, that's fine. You can also go to color palettes, web, anything like that. Look up images, find a nice color palette that fits you, grab your hex codes, however you may do, and kind of work off that, right? So really cool site here, or really cool way to just kind of find some colors that kind of fit your niche, see what they look like, and of course you can pick your own colors as well. If you're not a graphic artist, you know, sometimes picking colors that blend together could be a little bit harder. Things like this, I mean, they really look good. So let the web help you. You know, even if I was in the construction business, I could do something like construction and figure out, you know, what. And of course, that didn't pop up very well. So, but yeah, you could find, you know, yellow color palettes, orange color palettes, green color palettes, and refine your search into what you thought, you know, that you might like, and then try them out. So I have found some blues. We're going to be using those specifically. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the pages. I'm just going to go into pages real quick. I like the way everything's set out. Notice that the pages that have codes already in them will say Elementor. Sample page, I don't need this. I'm just going to go ahead and trash that. And hopefully you're following along. Feel free to slow it down if you need. I'm going to go into the home page. I can edit with Elementor. It's going to bring up my Elementor page and allow me to quickly design. So I don't use any of this basic stuff here. So what you're going to see me do is clear it all out just by pressing the little blue X that's right here on all of these features. Just kind of closing everything out. I want to start with a blank home page and kind of go in there. Of course, this is the banner. This is the banner category, so you can't close those out from here. And the footer and the header look like they're set already, but we'll talk about editing those. But the first thing I'm going to do is just pull in a little section by clicking the arrow here. I'm going to create a full width section, just if you didn't see that. A full width section is the first one. Bam. I'm going to pull in a title tag. So clicking the dots up here, clicking heading, dragging it in. I've got a title tag here. For now, I am just going to put this is some title text. Now I'm going to style that up by centering it. I'm okay with leaving it as H2, that's fine. I've centered this. I'm going to go into the styling tab here and select one of my colors. Now before I select one of my colors, what I like to do is if I'm here already, I'm going to go ahead and top left and then go into site settings, global colors, and change some of these global colors. So the first color I have is a darker blue, so 066EAO. Whoops, I'm going to remove the rest of this. which brings me to this color here. I'm okay with that. I'm going to change the name to even darker blue, just so we really know what's going on there. The second color here, we're going to go to a dark blue. The pound code or the hash code is 008FD5. Hit enter. We're going to call this darker blue. And you don't have to do this, it's just going to help me around the site to kind of utilize the same colors all the time, make it super easy. We're going to call this one, we're going to do a light blue, which is pound for DB1E2. We're going to remove the rest. Whoops, I should be control copying over that, right? We're going to call this a light blue. Perfect. And then I'm going to call this primary text. And we're going to go with 575757, which is it's kind of like a black. It's kind of a dark color. Perfect. So I'm all set up here. I'm going to click update here. Go back to my editor. I'm editing the page. Now I notice that I need a space up here. Now I like to do different sections. So this is in a section. You can see the blue bar that surrounds it. I'm going to add another section here, just above it, full width, and I'm going to put a spacer in there. The spacer is going to be default set to 50. I don't need 50, so maybe I just call it 25. Perfect. I got this title text here. I'm going to right click, edit heading, and we're just going to see what type of font we're going to use. Big fan of Poppins, so all I did was went to typography, open up the font family, typed in POPP, hit enter, Poppins it is. Font weight, I'm going to jump up to 700. Letter spacing, I'm going to shrink down to make it look something like this, negative maybe 1.6. And then size, let's go up to something like maybe 45, maybe let's just try 40. I'm just going to press the down arrow key a couple times. There's 40, I kind of like that. All right, for font color for my titles, let me just double check. Once we have the styling, we should be good to go. That's almost like a gray. I don't think I like that. Let's, okay, so even dark blue, I'm going to rock with that. I am going to pull, we're going to put another section, and in the same section, but we're going to put a text editor right below it. Just going to style out some stuff I can use all over the site real quick, and then we'll get into the other sections. This video will also go a lot faster once I've started and showed me some of these things. We're not going to be talking about them, we're just going to be duplicating them. So here I'm in the visual editor. The visual editor is kind of funny. I always go into the text editor to make my changes, only because text editor will take my font that I style up in here. The visual editor will take my typography font that's set for the site, which I usually set it for something like paragraph text all around the site. So let me show you. So here we're going to remove something. Let's remove all this. We're going to go style. I'm going to center it. Text color. I'm actually okay with that blue, the light blue. Typography, we're going to do open sans. And then we're going to go, whoops, back into typography. We're going to blow it up a little bit, right? We're going to make it a little bit bigger, something like that. Now, I don't like the white space. Some people are keen on white space. I'm not. So I'm going to go to the advanced tab. Hit the unlink button. So watch, when I go up on these, all of them link. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this back down to 0. I'm going to unlink everything and just do the top. I'm going to hit the negative button or the down button to take it into a negative margin from the top. Now I'm just going to play around, maybe negative 22. That kind of sits nicely, right? So I'm kind of digging that. I realize that I like that. I'm going to go ahead and click update. Just kind of keep this where I have it. So I told you I'd show you the text editor. If I come here, go back to the text editor, I just right click on the actual section at the text editor. You're going to see style. Remember, we're in here. We changed the color, we changed the typography. If I go back to the content tab, and let's say you forget, and you start typing something different in here, like I'm just going to, watch how this blue changes. So we're going to do the space bar, and all of a sudden it's gray, because my typography for paragraph text is probably gray, right? But if I go back into the editor, again, watch over here, when I remove that, or I just make a different change, it goes back to what I've styled it. So I'm always working in the text editor. I know that this is a huge issue. A lot of people are like, oh, my text isn't the color I wanted. and that'll help you solve that. So now that we're here, I do want to see if all caps is going to look better for my titles. All cap title goes here. No, I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to you. So let's just do, this is, this is a featured title area. Perfect. So once you're happy with that, make sure you save your changes. With changes, maybe you were happy an hour ago. You can always go into history, go back to what you want, click on one of these, it'll show you what you had. And if you did it on a different day, you can go into revisions and find your different revisions as well. So for multiple days, whether you close the page or not, you can always go back and kind of see, what you had, or go back to something old or older. In this case, I like this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. So all I'm doing is 3 dots at the top that were here, or 6 dots. I'm going to right-click duplicate, right-click duplicate. Let's do it one more time, right-click duplicate. And now I can reuse these around the site. But I'm really happy with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to right-click and save it as a template, which we'll use later. I'm going to call it title and subtitle template. That way it's really easy for me to find, because it's a title and a subtitle text. Now I've got a template here saved in Elementor, which we can use as well. If the feature's on the page, it's really easy just to click the duplicate. If it's not on the page, you can go into your templates and find it, or save it for later, and then reuse it there. So let's go ahead and build these sections out, right? At the bottom of each page, I always like to add a padding. Like, I want to add a padding so that if this was the last thing on the page, it doesn't sit on the gray footer. So I am going to open up another space, another full width section. We're going to drag in a spacer there. And I like to do something like 75, or in this case, I'm going to do 125. And just keep that at the bottom always. That way, my content isn't sitting on the footer. It doesn't look like it is now, but that's because you have this big section here. So for the first section, let's do a featured post. We're going to be using advertisements in this, which I'll show you in the theme options. But just for now, I click the dots up here so I can search for something in Elementor. And I'm just going to search for posts. Actually, let's search for listings. Let's see what I get. Listings, or listing, not plural. And yeah, listing posts. We're going to use this. We're going to drag this in. Now remember, I like using new sections. So first, let's create a section. So right above this, so this one, we'll create a section right above it. I'm going to go ahead and add a section here. It's going to be a full width section. I'm going to go back over to the listing that I told you. We're going to drag in listing posts. So make sure you've got the right widget, otherwise your widget settings aren't going to be the same. We drag this in here. It's going to pull up the list grid view, or the list view. Not really a fan of that one. I guess I could use it if like I had a sidebar area and shrunk this down, but in this case, we're going to go over to grid view, grid style 1, 3 posts. Now I know in the preview this kind of looks funny, right? So it kind of looks funny. We're just going to click update. We're going to click update, leave it as it is, and move on with it. I'll show you what the actual view looks like in here in just a second. The next section, let's do a call out, all right? So I'm going to add a new section here. I'm going to click the plus symbol. This one, I want to do like a layout like this, where it has most of it on the left, but a little bit on the right. So I'm going to click there, which we can kind of see what it's doing. I've got this and this. For kicks, I am going to move my spacer, just so you guys can visually see stuff. I'm going to move my spacer up, so everything here, you can see bam, bam, bottom of the page. This is stuff that's not being used yet, which I'll go over in a minute. Now here I am. I've got 2 different sections. I'm going to pull a spacer in there for now. Define the width maybe by 75, just so you guys can see it. Now I've got this space over here. Now I could access this whole section by right-clicking the dots and edit the section. An easy way for me is just over here, right-click, edit section. Same thing, right? We're going to call this, we're going to have our section here. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Style, give it a background color. So you see your background colors here. Let's do a gradient. I'm really a fan of gradients. You can do a solid color. If you come into solid color, click your global colors, go ahead and select that global color. I've got the solid blue. Now keep in mind, if you didn't do global colors, you didn't think that you had some colors, you could always click on this icon here and manually pick your color by dragging and dropping, or dragging the color picker, or you can just go in and type out your hex code. So either way you want. To clear your changes, you'd click right here. Back to white. I'm actually going to go into the gradient tool, not this first solid classic color tool where I could do an image as well. We're going to go into the gradient, select my first color, which will be the lighter blue. Select my second color, which will be, let's go with the even darker, right? Even darker blue. Perfect. Now, I don't like from down to up. I guess I could use this in some sections, but I'm actually going to switch the angle to 90 instead of 80, which kind of makes it go from my first color to my second color. I can also adjust the location on that if I wanted to do, darker color more towards the end. Oh, I kind of like that. Not bad, right? But let's kind of do that. Just kind of moving the location maybe over to 60, but I played with it and just found where I like the best. Perfect, so I've got an intersection here. I'm going to duplicate just the title. So to duplicate a title, I'm going to right click, duplicate, just the title. I'm going to drag the title up to this box here and let it sit in there. Now, of course, I don't like blue on blue, so I'm going to go into Style, select my color. I'm going to manually pick a white. Now I have the title for this section. I don't like the title being the same, so what I want to do is go into typography. I do like the same size, but I want to go down with the font maybe to something like 35, and I am going to let her space it out just a little bit so I can see it a little bit better, so maybe negative 0.4, right? Something like that, and I'm just playing around with kind of sliding things back and forth, seeing what looks good. Let's also check the font weight, 600. That doesn't look bad, right? I'm kind of digging that. Perfect, we're going to keep that. I do want my title text too, so let's go ahead and right click, duplicate that. That way I don't have to create new text that's open sans. I'm going to drag it right under it. Now it has some text that I can't see. We're going to go to Style. We're going to make that white as well. Okay. Whoops, white. Alright, I'm digging that. Let's go ahead and remove that spacer, so it's right click, delete. I've got a section here. We're going to go to the icons on the top, drop in a button just over to here. Now we've got our button icon here. Now the way to make buttons work is you're always going to have your typography text. I know that there's a way to unlink your typography text to this button, but I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a code here, and I'll paste it at the top. It's span, I've got the closing bracket or the less than symbol, span, space, style, equals, 2 quotations, and the closing bracket. And in between that, those quotations, I'm going to do color white. Now, I am going to type button text here at the very end of that so you can kind of see it. I'll post that code. Let's do it like this just so you can really see it. Post that code here. Whoops, we don't want. Oh, that's awesome because it's white. Oh, whoops. Alright, we're not going to paste it here. We're going to paste it in the browser URL. So here it is here. You've got span color equals color white. Button text goes here. And then you always close out the span. So it's the same brackets, your less than and greater than. But in the middle, you're going to do /span. So this is what it actually looks like. I'm not going to teach you a lot of coding with this, but just wanted you to see how you can change the button color. Super easy or the button text just by putting your color, :white. Now you could also do any code that you wanted, so it could be pound FFFF 6Fs, which is also white, or you could do DD 1234, which is a red or reddish color. But again, whatever color code you had in there, you can type in the word blue. That'll work. So let's move on from there. I'm going to text here, just type in something here to replace what I took out. All right, so now that we got white text, we're going to go in here. And we're going to style the button up. Here's the link to the button. Not really sure where that's going to go yet. Matter of fact, yes I am. Let's build this. So I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to right click this add listing button and copy link address. And then just paste that link address right in here. Well, it looks like it's going to the submit listing page. Actually, because we haven't set, let's go ahead and pull that back out and put the £. Because I haven't set permalinks, it's actually adding index.php to the end. So we are going to leave it as the £, for now. By the way, these videos are raw, uncut, and uncensored. We're going to right-click back on the button, go into styling, the background type or the background color. We can easily select one of our colors or make it what we want. In our case, I'm going to go with a dark blue. Perfect. I also have some settings here. I want to show you, if you create a feature that has multiple columns, remember when we selected it had most on the left, a little bit on the right. You can actually drag pieces of the column. So the border is right here. If I put my mouse here and I kind of drag this over to what I need, you can actually redefine the size or the column width. So you'll notice that 75.3 right next to it. You can also do that if you were to right-click your column section. You can actually define the remaining width. So let's just say I do 25. That'll be 25%. This is 75% on the left. For now, I'm going to right-click the button again. We're just going to full width it, so or maybe center it. And then also, I want to right-click the section here, edit the section, and give it padding or margin at the top and the bottom. So again, I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to give it padding. Remember, we're right-clicking the section here. I'm editing this whole section, and watch the padding that we're going to get at the top there. Maybe to 10. Bottom, let's do to 10. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's go 13 on both. Perfect. Button is no longer centered horizontally or vertically. So we're going to edit the button. We're going to go to advanced. We're going to unclick so they're not all linked together. And we're going to push it away from the top just to kind of center it out on our text. Perfect. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm actually going to remove this top section, so it's just by clicking, we'll remove all this here. And you can kind of see the full rundown on how to set things up. It's another section that we might need to have. Categories, right? Some people want categories. We're going to add a new section. Matter of fact, instead of adding a new section, let's just drag this section above with my title and text. Of course, I need a spacer there. Remember that spacer at the top. Let's go ahead and right-click this section, duplicate it. Just drag that whole section down here so I have a space away from the top. That might not be enough, so I'm going to right-click, edit the spacer that was in it, or add a new spacer, and let's go ahead and make that 40, or add a little bit more information there. So I've got this. This is going to be my category section. Then I have my bottom footer, which I'm not ready for. I'm also going to drag this one up. We're going to do both these at the same time. Now I don't want to make things redundant, right? I've got 3. This is, I know it looks like 2, but it's going to be 3. You've got a call-out section. Categories is going to do probably a column of 3 or 4. And then instead of having this center, what I'm actually going to do, so first I need a space. Let's copy this section, right-click, duplicate. I'm going to drag that in between them so I can see the difference. Now for this one, I'm going to right-click, edit heading. I'm actually going to align it to the left. Same thing with this, right-click, edit section. I'm going to go into the style editor and align this to the left. That way everything isn't always redundant. So what do we want here? We said categories. We're going to add a new section. I know I have the spacer, but we're going to add a section here. We're going to do full width. Click on our boxes here. We're going to drag in a category, listing categories, the category element. Not a fan of this look. I am a fan of, let's see, Abstract View 2. Kind of like that one, but I only want to see either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 7 categories. For now, let's go with 4, just because I'm going to add these manually. Let's do arts and entertainment. This is just picking categories that are already in our back end, which we'll talk about soon. Beauty and spa, health and medical. All right, so I got the 4 there. If I wanted 3 more will look good. 4 or 7 look good. Just for abstract view, but you can also play around with the other views as well. So I've added the 4 categories that I have on the back end that I want, and I've added them here. That'll be my section here. And for the last section, let's just call it posts. We're going to use Elementor or the default listing posts. No, recent posts. Let's see what that one looks like. But we want a new section. Let's do that again. Posts. That's definitely not what I wanted. Right click, delete. Posts. Listingpro recent posts. Right click, delete. Not what I wanted. Is it blog? Blog grid. So we're going to type in blog. I never use these. I use Elementor Pro, which can design a different layout. So blog in your search bar will pull in blog grids. And here we are. We've got the 3 exclusive blog grids. Of course, I can define by category, and I can even say I want 6 posts instead of 3. For now, we're just going to update, kind of go over some of the theme settings and see what we got. But before we go into theme settings, let's go ahead and view what we have, right? So we're going to refresh the page because there's going to be some tightening up that I want to do. So I've got this, I've got a featured section here, I've got a title and call out text here. This needs, see the padding there? I don't like the padding, so we're going to bring this up. And this, I don't like the padding here, we're going to bring that up. I kind of think the bottom padding is too much too, so let's fix those. Go back to the home page. We said this padding here was a little, so we're going to right click, edit the section. You already know how to do this. Advanced, unlink. From the top, let's just go up, negative. Let's go 25 on this one, because we're going to run into an issue that I'm going to show you. For this one, I'm not too worried about. Right click, edit categories, unlink, top, negative, all the way to the top of that blue marker, which I think is negative 60 to make everything right. Perfect. Same thing here, right click, nope, edit section. Actually, let's see if we can edit the blog grid. So we'll right click the blog grids, advance, unlink. Blog grids can come up without moving the whole section. I like that. The problem you run into is if you move the whole section, negative 60, and then we see the bottom spacer. I'll get back to that. Let's do 50 on this side and just see what that looks like. So the problem with moving an entire section is when I move the entire section, it actually moves it above this stuff here. So if you notice, I can right click and let's retitle this to Premium Business Listings. Oops, let's spell it right. Listings. Now when I want to change this text, you notice I can barely right click edit text editor, and if I came up a little bit higher with this section, I would no longer be able to edit that. So a lot of times I'll raise this to negative 60. In this video I didn't, just so you can kind of see why I don't. If you do that, right click in here on the first one. You can always edit the section, go to advanced, and change the Z index to be higher than this. So right now this has a Z, everything has a Z index of nothing or 0. So if I change the Z index here to, let's just say 5, now I'm able to right click and you'll notice I've got a lot more room in here, and that'll always be on the top of that. We're going to go in here, check out some of our most popular listings. Remember, whoops, no period. I'm in the text editor. What was this one? This one we're going to do edit heading. Let's do have a business in the area. Submit it today, or let's do add it today, and then right click the text editor here. Whoops, we're going to go into the content section always, text editor, add your business for free, or check out one of our premium plans. Our button text, we're not on that yet. Let's do our categories, right click edit. Let's call them popular categories. Okay, I can't edit this section because this section is too high, so I'm gonna go in, edit. We're gonna do the Z index of 5. Now I can edit, right click, edit. We're gonna go into the text editor. I told you it gets a little bit quicker, right? So popular categories, what's some text I could use for that? These are just a few of our most popular categories. Of course, you're going to have your own text. All right, perfect. For this section, let's call it latest news, tips, and tricks. Right click. I can't edit this section either, so we're going to Z index of 5. Now I can edit, text editor, content, text editor. Stay up to date with our latest site information. No period on that line. Let's update. Let's see what we got now. Alright. So looking good. We've got a premium listing section. We've got a call out section. We've got our popular category section, which needs images. We've got our blog section here. I noticed that the first one is from Cloudways. I am going to remove that so you can actually see the image there. We've got the footer, we've got the header, we've got the banner, and the text here. Let's jump through some theme options. We're done with this page. I'm going to refresh it. Quick way to get back to the home page. I know you can go the this route here, but I just like to kind of remove everything here except the WP admin. Bam. Alright, so theme options. First thing I'm going to do is go to settings. We're going to title our site my new directory. Right, of course this would be my logo name. And I'm going to remove this for now. This is a, no, you know what, I'm going to call this business directory. And we're going to do Orlando highlights, right? I'm in Orlando, so let's just do Orlando highlights. We're going to do an Orlando-based theme. It's a business directory, and that will end up showing up here instead of the WordPress, just another WordPress website. We're going to save this, go down to writing, see if we need to do anything in there. I don't like having default as that, so I'm going to default it to news. Save changes, go into reading. I've already defined a home page and a blog page. Go to permalinks, and post name is what you want. Click on post name and click save. I think we're going to skip the rest of that. For now, I really don't need any of that. Oh, one thing I didn't do, shame on me, is appearance themes. Before I get into any changes or anything, I do want to load up a child theme. So I like to keep my regular theme. I like to keep one standard default theme in case I break the world. I need to be able to revert back to it. I'm going to go ahead and delete these other two themes. I'm going to add new. I've already downloaded Listingpro, so I'm going to upload just my child theme and then activate that. Child theme never gets updated, so you'll never update the child theme. You'll just always be updating Listingpro. I've got a video on that too, but that one's free version. I'm going to activate this because I do want the child theme activate. Now you can see activated Listingpro, the looks like 2.6.7, as well as my default theme if I ever need to fall back to that. So I've got my child theme set up. I'm ready to go right into the theme options and check those out. So theme options, primary color. I'm going to pop back up my color list. It's not going to populate. Actually, you know what? I got primary color. Let's go ahead and set that up. So my color is, let's go with the darker blue, 008F. Same colors as before, that way I'm keeping everything consistent. Perfect. My secondary color, I am going to go with that black that I had, which was 5.7. You know what? I think now would be the time to change that if I want. All right, 4.7. Let me just see. 5.7. I'm going to go with 4.7. I'm going to change that globally as well. Just a little bit darker. Kind of digging that. I turn these, so you'll see these are default. I'm not going to use those. Page title, I'm going to turn that off. Currency for me is dollar symbol. Auto locations, I am going to turn this off. This is the feature on the front end that says, hey, explore Cocoa, which is my, where I'm located, or the city that I'm currently in right now. It's Cocoa Beach or Cocoa, close to Orlando. But meanwhile, I don't like this because if I'm doing like a travel directory, and especially if it says Explore City and the city is in here, and I click, right now I don't have anything for Cocoa, so it's going to show up blank. Now you can experiment with that. I have a video that kind of explains more on this, but for this site, I'm going to turn this off and click Save Changes. I'm going to go into my user dashboard and select the things that I don't need. So right now, I need all this, right? I don't want packages. Not going to have packages for the site, which you can kind of experience. I got a video that explains all these features. We're just building a quick site. I'm not going to use a menu. No need for food on this site or different menus, and I'm going to save changes. I like to save changes after everything here. Typography. I am going to quickly go down typography because, again, I said my body font. I definitely don't want to use Quicksand in anything. So for body font, I'm going to go with Open Sans. I'll leave the color the same for now. Navigation, I want Poppins. For all my H1, I want Poppins, so I'm just typing in pop and hitting save. Pop and hitting save. Pop. That way, nothing that I miss. especially things like this. Like this is an H tag, that's quicksand. This is paragraph text. This is, just different things around your site that we won't be setting with Elementor. This is quicksand right now. I don't want quicksand in there. It looks so default. So I'll just go along and pick the styles that I want. A lot of sites use 2 to 3 fonts. I think that your heading font should be something that is still readable. So a lot of people do script and like cursive and things that just aren't readable. Not too cool, right? So pick a good font, test around like we showed you in the first thing I did in the video was did a title text and subtitle text. The last one I do want to mention, back to Open Sans, right? I'm going to go ahead and click Save on this. Now your text font should be something that's easy readable as well. Like this can be playful, right? You could do this, you could do Montserrat, you could do a little bit of cursive or whatever, look really playful. But when you're reading text on any business site or any newspaper site or any of your popular sites, you're not going to see like a cursive text. You're always going to see something easy to read, especially like newspapers. Newspapers use the same fonts, and it's easy to read serifs, things like that, just because it's much easier on the eyes. Especially when you start getting into larger amounts of text. You want something pretty eye-friendly. So I've saved those. Finishing up the rest of these theme options. This is going to take us the longest. Header. I like this header here. You can play around with your headers, doesn't really matter. But I like one that opens up with the search bar. It has a full add listing button. So I can actually, this small add listing button, nobody knows what that is. It's just a plus symbol. So I like to make mine prominent. I'm going with this listing style here, or header style here. Fixed header, sure, we can do a fixed header. Fixed header on inner pages. The background color. Right now the home page is set to transparent. The inner pages is set to, where is my 008F, D5, my blue, and we'll see what that looks like. For my text, we're going to keep it white just because I have a blue background and a transparent homepage background. Let's take a real quick look at that, kind of see what we're doing here. I'll right click. Again, I have a white background, so my text is white here. It's not a big deal. As I go into an inner page, just click search. Notice that my bar is still easy to read. I don't have a menu yet. If I click the search, it pops out like this. Doesn't take up a lot of real estate, right? Perfect. We're going to come in here, kind of go down some of these theme options so you can see the settings here. Homepage logo, we're going to come back to this. I don't have a logo for the site, so I'm going to keep Listingpro's logo in there. I do like the size of this. Like, notice my logo doesn't stretch out my banner super high, super wide. So if you're going to try to do a portrait style logo that comes like way up and down, you're going to run into issues. And I see a lot of people trying to make it fit, and that's why their header's blown up. Otherwise, it'll shrink your logo, right? So you don't want to do that. So we're going to leave all these. Favorite icon isn't controlled here. I actually do it somewhere else. I'm going to save. Go into the banner. The banner, we don't have a banner image yet. We do know our category background color. We're going to go with the same color I've been using, A0AF, D5, enter. Secondary background, let's go with the even darker blue, which was 066 EA0. I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a sec. Category text is white. Banner height is 610. I'm okay with all these settings unless my banner image is just saying something different. Courtesy listing, I'm going to take that off. But let me show you where these are actually at. I've got my, so working on the banner. Keep in mind the banner is everything here. So banner colors, remember dark blue, even darker blue, or light blue, dark blue, even darker blue. My text on that page that I didn't get to yet is here. Remember, it doesn't say Cocoa anymore. It says your city, which we're going to change. Let's discover the best places to eat and drink. Just looking around with an arrow, just mentioning these because you're going to see these in a second. And image courtesy of. Image courtesy of, if I had a listing ID like 866 in there, it would be like image courtesy of Sushi Kashiba, which just means you're giving credit for this background image. And it would say Sushi Kashiba if I put in the right ID number. Of course, with the theme, I don't have the right ID number. It's 866. None of my listings are 866, so of course we're not seeing that. I'm going to turn off courtesy listings. I'm going to keep everything here the same. Of course, if I wanted a different background banner, which we're going to come and edit at the end, I'd put in this banner. These are the categories that you've seen on the little squares. These are what I want to show up. And then this is the text. So we're going to say, hey, explore Orlando's hottest, Explore Orlando's greatest. Alright, we'll just call it that. Just looking around, I'm okay with the rest of this text. Instead of your city for default, I'm just going to go with location. Yes, you can search for all this stuff, and we're going to click save, just so you can see those changes real quick. I just changed one thing, right? Location, Explore Orlando's greatest. I kept the text in both sections, and that's what we're left with. Again, you can modify those. Alright, perfect. Theme options, map. We are going to get a map key. Let's go ahead and do that later. Blog, I don't need to mess with anything in there. You can change what the blog view looks like just by messing with those options. Again, you'll find my options in my other video. We're going to keep the app view, but we are going to change the listings general page. I'm going to go ahead and change this to listings order by random. That way everybody gets equal exposure. I'm going to add my contact, which is going to be /contact page, which listings per page, I'm going to go ahead and do 20, a little bit more. We're going to change this default image, but for now we'll leave it. Feature an image from gallery, we're going to enable. Gallery height, I'm cool with everything else. Let's go ahead and save. Listing detail, I'm going to use listing detail style 3. I'm going to leave everything else on the page the way it is, and click save. Listing archive view. I am going to switch the archive view. It depends on if you need a full map. On some websites, like my travel website, I wanted a full map because you're going to pick locations around the world. On this Orlando-based website, I don't need a big map, right? Orlando, I mean, it's big, but it's a city. Now, let's go ahead with this small layout here. I'm going to switch that. I'm not going to fill out anything here, but I am going to switch my style. I like the small style just because if I'm using this, I can scrape listings that actually don't have images and it's still going to look good. So I'm going to go with this setting here, this one, and then this one here. I selected both and I'm clicking save. This is just for mine. Again, play around with yours, kind of see what you like. Listing submit. I'm okay with everything on this page except for city is okay, but when I come down here, you're going to find category. I want to be able to select multiple categories. So I'm just going to change that on this page. Scroll down to the bottom and click save. Where are we at? Location. I'm okay with location for now. Reviews. Actually, auto locations by Google. Let's go ahead and leave that for now. Leads form. Yeah, I'm going to leave that too. Listing claim. We're going to leave this just the way it is and skip down into pricing plan. Pricing plan, we are going to enable expired listings to our free plan. That way I don't lose content. There is a paid listing claim. Category specific plans. Sorry, it looked like somebody was at our door. Category specific plans we're going to leave, monthly we're going to leave, show annual we're going to leave, and save. Advanced filter. I'm going to remove some of these because I don't like where the advanced filter sits. I want to show you first. So if I refresh this page and click search, this is the search archive page we were just talking about. I'm not really happy with like inexpensive, pricey. You know, who really wants to say their business is that? So I'm going to remove this and the open now for now. So open now and price, and that's just my personal preference. So disable and save. That'll get rid of those. Search. All right. So this one's fun. Instead of exact match, we're going to do broad match. We're going to enable typing in both the fields. Auto locations by Google, if I want people to be able to add new locations. Right now I don't have any Orlando locations, so I'm pretty cool with that. So for now we're going to leave this. I'm just going to click save. I got some weird glitch out thing going on over there. Pretty cool. Payment. Payment is paid submission, yes. Recurring, yes. I'm going to select this to yes. Days before expiry, I like to give more days than 2, so let's call it 5. I am US dollars. The rest of this is already set up, but I just want to make sure these match my pages. which is telling you page, if something's in here, they're matched, right? They're mapped. You should be good to go. We are going to enable coupons, and I'm going to click save. All right, so PayPal. PayPal is, I am going to be using PayPal, so I'm going to switch this over to live. I've tested this many times before, so I know that the system works. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on this. This is not my PayPal credentials here, which I will need to get. Also Stripe, I know I want to use Stripe. I don't need to use Sandbox to test it, so I'm going to go with live. And these are going to be real keys that don't say test in them. So we're going to save changes here. Direct payment, don't like that, but I could do Cash App and just give directions. For now, I'm going to click disable. To checkout is already disabled. Tax, this is a funny one. If you look at the pricing plans, what you're going to see is pricing plans already include the tax. So let's say the pricing plans were supposed to be $10 and $30. It looks funny with like this odd amount here. So what I'm going to do with tax is, yes, I do want to enable tax. I'm at a spot where I can add 6% tax for sales tax, but I'm going to exclude it from showing in the pricing plan. Of course, when they go through to the pricing plan and go to pay, it's going to charge that 6%. But if I refresh the page here for the plans, you'll notice that now my plans reflect the prices that I want in there. So that was here. I just disabled that. We're almost done. Email management. All right, this is a fun one, right? So set up your email. This is info@overnightcoder. This should match the domain, so you skip some of those problems. What do we call it? Orlando highlights. Right, I think. All right, so this is the fun part. I'm not going to do each and every one of these. I'm going to show you how this is done. So email management has always been jacked up. What you want to do is you want to look at these. I actually like to style my emails and give a lot more information, which just means I'm going to erase all this and put the best information possible. Like, by the way, check out our Facebook page. Thank you for signing up. Yada yada. Here's a coupon code for the premium plan. Yada, whatever. But if you're looking at this code, you're in the visual editor. Whoops. Oh, interesting. Everything's in text now. So that's a first. If you're in the visual editor and you see coding, other than the percent signs and underscores, you've got a problem, right? So visual, okay, this one's good. It used to, weird, 2.6.7, maybe they fixed that. Because what used to happen is, you used to see this in visual. And then, of course, this would be the same, this is what you would see in the email, like the coding. So what I want you to do is, just depending on your version, just double check these, right? So if I go into visual, if I see any coding, it's off. Visual, nice, they finally, or something happened there where it's default text. Now I just noticed something. So on all these that have boxes, right? What I normally go through, I come here, you either have to add your logo or remove it. So on each one of these, I get into the habit when I'm doing a client site, I get in the habit just to come through, select it once, hit delete, then scroll down to the other details and remove that. Now if this is my personal site, maybe I would want to. So I'm going to do one more. I scroll down here, I remove it, I come down to the other details, I backspace, right? And I just get in the habit of going through all these. And when I get down to the bottom, it's the same thing. Those were visual editor. Now, oh, here's one. Perfect. So when you see the visual editor code, especially like now you're starting to see the coding, come in here. So I'm in visual. Come in here, copy it, go into your text editor, and paste it. That's all you have to do. So I'm in visual. I see coding. Tim said that's bad. Copy it, text, paste. I'm in visual. I see coding. Copy, text, paste. I'm in visual, I see a little bit of coding, copy, text, paste. And now, let me show you on these ones, I did show you how we remove the icon. If you want to replace with your own logo, of course it's this simple, right? We're in Visual Editor, we're here, we can click Edit. Actually, I think we want to add new, I'm sorry. Yeah, whoops. Add media, so I've selected this one, I've added media, I'm going to find... Obviously nothing in here, probably nothing on my desktop. Give me just a sec, let's do images, old logo. How about my old logo? Yeah, cool. But it's probably in white. Of course it is. Sorry, I did not prepare for a logo. Let's do logo red. Let's see what goes on. All right, happy with that, whatever. Here's the sizing for it. So maybe I'm going to keep it medium. Actually, I'm going to do full size. Insert in a post. Bam. Actually inserted both. So we're going to remove this one. And all right, but you get the hint, right? So I had added the media and it was in here. Again, let's, you bought the premium. Let me go through the, we'll add media. We're going to add the logo. I'll keep the full size. Bam. There's my logo. Now if I want to resize it once I'm in here, of course, look, it says no alignment, so I'm going to go back to align center. I am going to make this a little bit smaller just by dragging my mouse up. Kind of making it the size that I want. And then again, if you didn't want, or you did want to put in other order details, you can put whatever you wanted. Tim's house is at 123 Main Street. Whatever text you wanted in here. And of course, you can modify all this text with bold, paragraph styling, do whatever you want, change colors, whatever you feel necessary, you can do in here. But again, I won't go over all these because it gets redundant going down this full list. And when you're done, hit save. Hopefully that covered emails. If you have any problems, contact me. Let's go back into privacy. I'm not in a spot where I do a privacy policy at the bottom of the page. I let them have it like that. I know some countries, you might want to check your laws, but Listingpro's done a real good job of you checking what you need for each individual location. Invoice, same thing. I remove the default details, insert my own. So from logo to company name, Orlando highlights. I don't have a business address right now, and I'm not going to put an intro. I'm not going to put my phone number. So we're going to remove all these and call it a blank invoice. It's just the general information that I'm happy with. This is a big one people miss all the time is ads. Ads, people leave it at 10, 20, and 50. And for most niches, people are going to pay you $50 a day to be on the spotlight, top of the search. So I like to change these for default for client. It's something like 2, 2, 3. And what these are is, yes, you can show up on the spotlight, which is my homepage, or any place that I put the listing post elements. So in our case, we're doing homepage. You can show up on my homepage for $2 a day. You can show up on the side of my sidebar area, which I don't have set up yet, for $2 a day. Or you can show up at the top of a search. So when somebody searches something, you can show up for $3. Right? And that's per day, so $90 a month. Let me show you a couple of those spots. Homepage. These are the featured ads. That's why I put the premium right at the top. So yes, I am giving them business exposure. These are rotated out. So if I have 10, it'll be 3 now. If I refresh the page, it'll be another 3 in a random order. But because I only have 3 ads standard with the dummy content, these 3 are just going to rotate if we refresh. And you'll see Euro, Arizona, Sushi. And then if we refresh, it's Arizona, Euro, Sushi. And then Euro, Sushi, Arizona. So you'll see those just rotate out. Sidebar search. Here on your sidebar areas, this is my sidebar area here, which let's go ahead and configure that. And then you've got top of search, which will be here. Really like top of search because as you go into a specific category, it's the only one to show up, right? You don't want well, in this case, I only have one automotive. But notice the other ads don't show up if I'm not in the right category. So they are category and location specific. So really cool there. Let's set up the sidebar area here. That way we don't forget about it. So we're just going to go into this window. We're going to go to Appearance, Widgets. This is the default sidebar for blog posts. This is my listing detail sidebar. And this is the listing. Listing detail is when I'm on a detail page, when I'm looking at an actual listing. The page I was just showing you was Listing Archive. So we're just going to pull in the Listingpro ads, drag that over. I like to do 2 ads. I'm not going to do any title. We'll save that. Go back to the page that we're on and just see if hopefully it did something, right? So we're just on this general search page. I now have 2 ads in here. Now if I wanted to add more to that sidebar, I could just go under where I just put those 2 ads and drag something else. Right? We can put something else under here like blog posts. You can do whatever I want. I am showing, this is only 10 out of 20 on a page, so I have plenty of room if I want to make my sidebar a little longer. The only problem is what happens when you go into something that doesn't have a bunch, right? So I only have 1 listing here, not that that would ever be true, but I don't want to have a sidebar that drops down 5 scroll bars. That's just not going to look good. Oh, going more into it, theme options. Back to my original tab. We've got our ad set here. URL config, I'm just going to check that, no, this was not correct. So we're going to reset this section. Not reset all, just reset section. And of course, that didn't do what I want. I'm going to right click settings. I'm going to I'm going to hover over settings. What is going on with the bottom of my page? I'm going to right click permalinks to open it up in a new tab. I'm just going to save this post type again. I'm going to go back here to the theme options. I'm going to come back to URL config. I just want to see contact page. Contact page we're going to put in my email, @overnightcoder. I'm not going to go over filling out content for this site. I do want a social media link. Let's call it https / Normally I would just paste this in, but because I'm not really going to grab my page, we're just going to do this. We'll change my address or remove it. In this case, I'm going to remove the phone number, but I am going to keep the address just for kicks, right? It could be P.O. Box. It could be, matter of fact, let's just do this, Orlando, Florida. So now you know where like my office is based, or the business is based, whether I have an office there or not, which I do. But all right, so from here, footer. Remember, we're going back to URL config. Footer, I'm going to pick this footer. I like this one because I'm in full control. The footer here, again, you can play around with any of these. I do like the 4-column settings. The footing background color, we're going to go back to that. You guessed it, 008, FD5. And then the footer text, we are going to make sure that we are on white. The rest of this won't matter because we have full control of the footer. We're going to click save. All right, for kicks, I'm going to refresh this page. I'm going to go back to URL config, and perfect. It's automatically filled out my links here. These don't have index PHP in between them, so these look about right. This is my dashboard page, my submit listing page, and I should be good to go. And that's kind of going through your site settings, but we are going to do a few more changes just for the additional. I'm going to view the site, kind of see what we have. Happy with the home page. What about this link, right? So this link here, button text here, I'm going to right click, add listing. Copy the link address. Instead of button text here, we're going to edit this page with Elementor right here at the very top. We're going to make this official. I'm going to go edit button. We're going to switch to text. Remember, it was at the end of here. This says button text here. I'm just going to remove or highlight over that, or maybe hit some with backspace and kind of move my mouse around. And we're going to do submit your business. The link, we're going to paste in the link that we just got from the add link button, the add listing button. We're going to click update on that. What else? We're going to view the home page again, right click the logo, open in a new link, or a new tab. Just kind of scroll down, see, I don't like these additional colors, we're going to fix that. I don't like the transparent black top. Maybe I do. And I've got no footer. Perfect. Alright, so to fix the home page, we need categories. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to back out of here. I'm actually going to open up another window, close my home page. I'm done with modifying the home page, but I do want to modify these categories, right? So to add categories, you go to listings and categories. If you wanted new categories, you didn't want to use them, you remember where you edited them, here's where you would add a new one. So let's do Tim's test category. Oh, you know what? Let's do escape rooms. That's becoming really popular over here. Escape rooms. I have some stuff here, which is category icon for the search page. Again, I have a video that will explain all these things. I have the icon on the banner. Category banner we're going to be using. So we're going to click add to category, but for now I just added escape rooms, and it is currently in my list. So keep in mind, if I wanted to come back, edit the home page, I could edit the home page and then like added escape rooms where you see me add arts and entertainment, automotive, beauty and spa. But for now, we're just going to show you a couple of these images. So let's say arts and entertainment and automotive. So I'm going to go to arts and entertainment first. Actually, I'm going to go to automotive first because it's a really easy one, and click edit. Remember, I said it was the category banner here, so all you have to do is insert an image. Where can you find images? So free images on Google Or you can go to unsplash.com. What do we say? Automotive. Auto. Will there be anything on auto repair? Yeah, sure. So auto repair. I could have stayed automotive. Now let me see my image size. Right, I'm looking for kind of like a portrait style photo. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm looking here. I'm going to grab this portrait style photo. A lot of times I will resize these images with some type of image resizer, but to save you a little bit, and you can find one online. You can use Photoshop. You can use whatever tool you want to use. Resize these so they're not so full, or use an image optimizer like Imagify. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to insert the image. And the image from Unsplash is always super huge, but I don't recommend just downloading it raw like that or uploading it raw like that. Always resize it. So see 1707 by 2560, way too big. Now for rendering sources, I'm just going to go and do 638 by 683 by 1084 or 1024, which is not the size that I'm seeing, but again, that's going to work for us. When you go in there, pick full size, just go ham. Let me show you how that came out. We're going to refresh the page, and now I have my automotive in there. I would do that with the rest of these, but again, for time's sake, we don't want to get into, hey, how do we add an image again, Tim? I will show you where the section was. So I was here. I can always click categories again, or I can just click go to categories. The second one was arts and entertainment, so I would go here, edit. Remember, it's the category banner at the bottom, insert image, and update. And that will fix your images for your category banner page. So we've got that figured out. Oh, footer. So we submit your business. Does take you over to your submit listing. Remember, submit business actually goes to the pricing plan first, and then from pricing plan it goes on into your submitting business, and of course shows the features that you have. Now keep that in mind. There's no glitch there. Footer. So let's go back. We're going to go to the theme options, appearance widgets. I have 4 columns I set for the footer. Here are my 4 columns. This works just like I showed you with the archive sidebar. You just drag stuff over here. I'm going to show you what I prefer to do. So I'm going to drag 4 text box. 1, 2, 3. I'll even give you the coding that I like to use. So I know that Listingpro, and I don't use it often, but contact information, or you can do image and logo. But I'm not really in control of those, right? So when I put those over there, I'm a web developer, so it's really hard for me to take something of theirs and try to modify it. It's just not if I put social info, I know that there's a big white space at the very top of it, or contact, one of these. So what I like to do is I just like to do it on my own, right? So here I do, if you know a little bit of coding, I'm going to show you the coding first. It's center, closing, and then we want to close center, which is always the / with the same command. And then I just put something in here and it'll be centered. So I put the word Tim. The word Tim is going to be centered in that column. But instead of the word Tim, I'm actually going to add an image. So my image is IMG, 2 quotations, and closing. And the image would just be right in between here. Or wait. Yeah. But, wait, why is my mind blanking out? Image source. That's why. Image source equals, and then that. So instead of doing that, I am going to show you a cool way that you can do this, right? You don't know any coding. You don't want to take my coding, even though I'm going to give it to you over here because there is a reason I use it. I'm just going to add media. So this, I'm in the text editor because I prefer text, add media. We're going to add the logo that I have here. I can pick my size, so I'm going to do 300 by 100, insert. And look, I just posted all my code. Of course, it didn't center it. But visual, if I visual and then click, I can see the align center option right there. The one that looks centered with the block in the middle. And then just click save. Now this probably isn't going to look good because I think the 4 is going to be, on a white or a blue background. But let's just double check. And before I actually double check, let's do as much as possible. So I like to do, let's do popular navigation. And then text. Now I am going to show you a code. It's href equals this, and then you close out your A. This is for a link. So let's just put title goes here, and then what's my link, right? I can paste anything. It's got to be a link. https yahoo.com, right? And I'll just copy this multiple times. Now, the reason I like this is because in visual, and I'll show you the visual editor one, I'm going to paste that 3 times. Normally, what I would do is like latest news, search all listings, search all listings. Okay, now where do I find the search all listings? Or whatever, you can just click search. This link at the top, bam, let's put that in there. What do I do? Search all listing. And of course, you just find your links from around the website, paste them in there. Now, I like this because it looks like this, right? It's one line, one line, one line. I'm going to show you what another one looks like. So we did popular navigation, but let's do business owners. Now, if I were to just type in here, this is a text link, and then I link it, which this is also going to give you the code, so super cool. What's the code? HTTPS, what's the link is yahoo.com, or I could find one from around my website. I'm just going to click on this for now. And look at this. So you go into text. This actually gave me the same code that I told you, how to build. Now, here's the problem. So if I click enter now and do this is another link, I don't like the line break that's in between them, right? So we're going to make this one, and it's going to go to http overnightcoder.com. Perfect. This one goes here. Yes, I have them here. Yes, I can backspace here to fix it and then click save. So just keep in mind, that's why, as a coder, I just pop those codes in. Now, I am going to leave it like this so you can see what they look like. And this one we're just going to call the legal corner, which will have, I'm going to go into text for this one, privacy policy, and contact us, maybe even terms of service. For business, I like to do things like, submit your business listing, pricing plan, advertising, contact us, those type of things for business owners. But again, you can change this to whatever you want. We're going to click save on all of these, just make sure we're all saved up. We're going to view it, and again, it's your custom freedom on what you want to do there. This is how it looks. So, oh nice, I do white. So I've got my logo, maybe I put the copyright information, but I put it in white below it, and then I have my navigation just the way I wanted it. But remember, I said those spaces. That's why I don't like using theirs. I like more just creating my own. And if I need spaces or if I need to make these bigger, I can do that with coding. Like easily inside there, I can say, hey, the font size should be 16 pixels. So super cool for me. But that's what we have so far. We need a menu, but we need to figure out our pages, right? So pages. Now, if you've already set this up, you'll see a blog page here. Okay, we're going to stick with Listing Pros. I'm not going to teach you guys how to style a new one up, so we're going to stick with that. We need pricing plans and menus. So here, we're going to go into menu, appearance, menus. I'm going to delete everything they have in here just because I don't really know. I don't like starting with somebody, like all this garbage has nothing to do with me. I guess those are my categories, but I don't want to duplicate them 10 times. I like to call it main navigation. And I am going to set it for kicks. I'm going to set it to my home page. I'm going to set it to all my other pages. And I'm going to set it to the mobile menu. A lot of people forget mobile menu, or I look at your inner pages, which is every other page, and you don't have anything in there. That looks really bad. We're going to view all right here. Home, blog, contact, add all those pages. And here, I like to do contact at the end. Actually, I like to do contact in the footer. I'm just going to remove that page and click save. Now, that's not going to give me a lot, and I also don't like calling the blog, so we're going to go with, for a business site, we're going to call it news and articles. Make it a little bit longer because my menu is so bland. Alright, for kicks, we're going to create a new page just because I'm here. We're going to add new. We're also going to cover these pages. So add new, we're going to call it events. I'm going to click publish. Now I do want to create as soon as I publish, I'm going to click edit with Elementor. I want to create a template page that I can reuse, right? So keep in mind my template page, what do I need on a template page? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is pull in my template that I have. Remember that template that I had you save earlier of your title and text? You can find it here, bam, my templates. insert, and now that drops my feature here. That's not going to look good at the top like that, so I'm going to add a section. We're going to call it full width section. We're going to throw a spacer in there. Spacer, let's call it 80. You know what, let's call it 100. I'm going to drag the spacer and the section above this one, and now I have a section here. So I'm going to right click in here. I am going to make it a little bit light something. And let's go with a light gray maybe. Perfect, something like that, just to split up the page. Just for kicks, right? Edit the section, layout, whoops. Edit by, whoa, I just moved my spacer down. Oh, my spacer back in there. Perfect. Now I want a little spacer in between this and that gray. Matter of fact, my spacer I'm going to go a little bit smaller. Let's do 75. And then we're going to add another spacer right here. And we're just going to call it probably like 20. So it's going to be default 50. I'm going to change it to 20. Call it a day. So now keep in mind I have my header. I have a little bit of space that breaks up the header. I have a little bit of spacer here that breaks it up from the space. I have title, subtitle. I need a content area. My content area. Now remember I said I'd do the padding at the bottom, so we're going to add another section. What do we say? I think we started with 125, but then we said no on the home page. On the other pages, I am going to do 125. And now I have my page layout that I'm going to use for all my pages if I need a different page layout. So we're going to go ahead and click Update. And then we're going to save this as a template because I have all the features. I don't want to create that every time. I'll save that as a template. We're going to call it Page Template. Click Save. Perfect. Now that I have this, I did call this the event page. So let's go ahead and Orlando local events. Of course, I would change my callout text here. Remember, go to the text editor for whatever styles you want to do. It's the event page, so we're going to pull in the events. I'm going to show you which one I prefer. We're going to do events calendar. We are going to make it a calendar. We're going to go monthly and modern. I like everything here except for the color, which we'll get into. I have a styling in CSS video. I want you to take a look because I'm not going to color how to style and CSS this up. And if all you're missing is this little bit of pink, it's still going to look good, right? Unless you just anti-pink. But again, don't leave it like that. I got a free video that'll show you how to style it up. If we have time, I'll get into it, but I'm running a little bit over what I want it to be for this to be an easy for you to follow video to have a complete site. Some people also will take an event and throw, the latest events under this. You don't have to. I don't have any events, so it's not going to show the latest 3. I will leave that here, kind of like in a grid format, where you could have your events right under it as well. Just a few. This will show your calendars. It'll block off dates and show you a list view as well. I'm going to update this. Perfect. So I have an events page. Let's go back to appearance menus. Throw that new events page in there. Kind of looking fuller, right? Perfect. Let's take a look at what our site's looking like now and see what we need to complete this. So I have events, I have news and articles. Remember, you're going to swap your own banner. I'm happy with the fonts. I'm happy with the layout here. We've changed, hypothetically, all the images. We know how to work the blog. We've adjusted the footer. I mean, technically, could we rock like this? Let me check search pages. We need the Google map and information there. Styling and CSS. I'm not happy with this page. Right? I'm not happy with it. So just because the colors are not my colors, I don't have the logo to pull my colors. Normally I do this really cool trick with. Alright, I am going to show you a little bit of CSS. So I'm going to open up the appearance, customize. I always put notes, so keep that in mind for this video. I'm still going to do notes, so like I would start here. It's // Inside the // you've got 2 asterisks. This determines a note, right? It's not encoding, it actually is brown. So I like to put something in between here, like when I'm working on your site, I'll put overnight coders styling. That way you know that, hey, everything below here, overnight coder did. But then what is the styling for? Styling is for the listing archive page, right? Just this styling. So I am going to go over to the listing archive page and show you how I do a little bit of styling. Now, of course, I am on Google Chrome. You will have to figure out your own browsers or how you do this. Most browsers are similar. Now, I'm going to right click, inspect the element. Up pops my section here. I'm under elements and styles are ready. And I can see that my border are my yellow and yellow, like the border and the text for this button are yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the border to, actually, you know, I found something really cool where I just change the border to none. And I do the color, and I type in my color. Now in this case, I actually have the color picker, so when I select here, it's going to color pick something from around the site. Well, my blue is already up here. I'm going to select the blue and go into it. Now I have to copy those codes, right? So anything from color, I need the border, and then I need this bit of code here, the opening and closing bracket. So what I like to do to save time is put, after the last thing I edited was here, come up just to here, and copy it out. All right, I've hit Control C. I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to paste. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to be a coder. My other video will show you how to style things up just with CSS with Listingpro. But you have, you know, your classes. Then you have an opening bracket. We don't have a closing bracket, which I'm going to go ahead and put now. That encompasses this code. And remember, I really didn't need all this code. Like background, I didn't need that. It was border, I have set to none, and border radius, or I'm sorry, color, I have set to my new color. And that was it, right? I'm on the listing archive pages. The codes here are going to be from the listing archive page. So now let me jump through real quick and show you the rest of it. So right click, I'm going to come to the call now. I don't like pink on this site. I scroll down, I find the pink, I replace it with my blue color. Of course I could type in my code, but in this case I'm just going to pick this banner code, bam, I'm set. I'm going to copy just this up to here. We're going to drop it in the customize. We're going to close our bracket. I'm going to see if there's anything else that I want to do. Yeah, I want to do the border. Day off, I probably also want to do, so day off, inspect. This looks like the color. Whoops, it didn't color pick, so color pick here. Blue. Okay, enter. I want to grab this. I want to copy it. Okay, I'm cool with that. 24-hour open, same thing, that green, I don't like that green. But I would probably be using different blues. And if I want to come back and change those blues to, what did I say? That was a dark blue, so let's do even darker. 066 EAO. Perfect. And I can always come back here and change them. Let's just refresh that page and see what we did there. So that's a little bit of how I style up things. When I go to a new page, I'll put my new styling down below or my new note. If I refresh here, we're going to notice that those stick around, right? What about the text, the font? I don't like, you know, I said Poppins. So can we come back? I'm going to show you how you can do it in here. You find the black, right? So I just right-click Sushi Kashiba. I found the title. I'm just going to put a space right here. I know that you probably don't know some of these, but you can type in font-family and then do Poppins. Okay, there's font. Font weight, we're going to try, remember, I think we used something like 600, which is a little bit deeper. The font color is a little bit too dark, so we're going to go in here, pick our color picker here. I probably would go with like a darker blue, so I don't have my exact color right now. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm just going to drag this down a little bit. This would be my exact color or whatever I have, and then I would just copy this. I don't want capitalize, I don't really use that. Perfect, so I'm going to paste those in here. Make sure I'm using my exact colors, closing bracket, and then remove the stuff that I didn't use. I actually used all of it but font size, which I'd probably best do. But for now, that's what we got. Publish. So now we have like this custom looking, you know, styles and colors. Of course, 24 hours open. I don't like that. I might do that like a darker green or pink, or you know, you're getting the hint, right? Not pink, but the blues. News and articles. Setup, events. Same thing. Remember when I just showed you the CSS? Check this out. Right click, inspect. Look what I got here. I got two pinks. I got a background and I got a border. How easy would it be for us to copy this code, throw it in the styling in CSS under events page styling. Whoops, I didn't grab the code, but you get the gist, right? So if I did grab the code, paste it in there, make sure you click publish. When you go back to the page and refresh, you'll see those changes. So my menu's coming along. I probably want a little bit more. We're going to add this thing. Oh, pricing plan. Oh, pricing plans. Let's cover those real quick. Pricing plans are simple. Pricing plans are right here. We're going to create. I've got one. I like to do it like this. So I'm going to edit this one. I am going to set it for both. You can claim listings. You can buy listings. You can do both. I'm going to turn this on and turn it off. I don't like to show everything. You'll see another video that's free. If you haven't already watched that, please check out my free videos. But this one, I just like to turn everything off and only show what I'm going to give them, right? So for the free plan, if you don't have a lot of money, you didn't help me out. I'm not trying to help you out, but I do want your email, and you'll see that video as well. I'm only going to let you add basic things. That's it, right? I'm okay with that, right? But you can allow and disallow. Matter of fact, let's give them website. Let's give them social media links. Just we're being nice here, because normally for free, yeah, you can add your listing, but you can't do much. The price is 0. The max image, again, I'm not going to go over all these. I would change this to blue, my color blue, and then the middle one, I would do a different offset color blue. The duration, I'm going to set for 365. I am going to expire the plan or go into the free plan after it expires. That's for everybody else. And I'm just going to click update. And again, whoops, did I select that? Yeah, I selected update. Perfect. My next plan is going to be the middle plan. So the basic, but I'm going to edit it, and we're going to call it monthly. I'm going to change it to claim, or both, sorry. I'm going to leave everything on this one, except for time kit, reserva, and menu. Right, because I chose not to see the menu on this one. And then I don't want appointments. I'm going to take that one off. Price for this one would be, let's call it $9.99 for 30 days. I'm going to update on the right, call that a day. You know what, I am going to change the colors because the colors look so awful. Let's do, this one was going to be a lighter blue. So let's do 40B 1E2. I'll just give my site a much better look. But before I go to the last one, I am going to go back to the free real quick and change that color to my dark blue. So what is that? Oh, I'm changing it right here. Instead of RGB, I'm going over to hex code. And I'm going to do pound. Dark blue is 008. Whoops, F. D5. I'm going to copy this if it lets me. I think for some reason one of these doesn't allow you to copy. We're going to save. Alright, and then my last plan, you probably already guessed it, we're going to call annual. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit the top to annual or yearly, both. I'm going to do the same exact thing I did for monthly. So menu, time kit, reserva, appointments. Time kit and reserva are additional plugins, so keep that in mind. We're going to come in here, see if it'll let us paste our hex code, which it does not. So let's go pound, what do we say, 008, I should know this by now, D5, perfect, I'm happy with that. Wait, why doesn't that, okay, maybe I did use that. The duration is 365 days, whoa, yeah, and the price is, what is we said $9.99, so let's do, what is $10 times, instead of 12, instead of 120, you save money, so let's call this 99 bucks. We're going to double check. Everything looks good for the pricing plan page. Premium. What the heck? Did that not update? Let's click update again. Perfect. Love it. Alright, but the page template. So, edit page. My templates. I'm going to go into the page template and drag that in. Yes. All this was a pricing plan block. I'm just going to throw that in the middle of here. Make sure everything else is good. I've got a section up here. I'm going to right click, delete that small section. Now I'm back to my Pricing plan. Oh, I think this is the one we don't want to do that on. Let me see. Pricing. I changed the call out text to, hey, check out our free plan or try one of our premium packages. Call it a day. Looks much better with my template. What else do we have? Events. Okay, let's check out our site again. Alright, what do we need? Payment information for PayPal. Here's a link. So for PayPal, remember we said we're going to set all that up. This is the link that I'm going to add to my notes to put at the instructions. This is an up-to-date link. Matter of fact, I'll just go over it in here. That way I don't have to share it. So if you log into PayPal, go to Settings, Account Settings, Website Payments, and under Products and Services. So literally, we click something up here that goes to Account Settings. And from Account Settings, you're going to see Website Payments on the left, and then you're going to click Update on the far right, where it says App by Access. I just walked through this with somebody. It was super easy. And this is up to date on finding that information. On the next page, pay attention, on the next page, when you click that Update button, you're going to find the option that says NVP/SOAP API and click Manage Credentials. On the next page, you're going to request API signature, make sure that dot is checked, and hit Agree and Submit. The information that pulls up needs to be copied and pasted back into those theme options under Payments or Payment and PayPal. Now, one of the key things is to make sure once you posted your stuff in here and went live, and the only thing that's not on that page is your PayPal email, which you already knew because you logged in, is make sure it doesn't have any spaces. So when you paste it in here and you check it, I like to double click it or triple click it. Notice this one has a space at the end. So this would give me a valid error. I need to take that space off. I'm going to double check that the other ones do not have a space at the end, and you'll be set to go. Super easy to do with Stripe with checkout, or I'm sorry, with Stripe. Log into Stripe. On the left-hand side, you're going to see developers. It is going to pull up developers from the menu. It'll pull up your API information. For Stripe, you just need your SK, secret key, and publishable key. You'll notice the difference. One starts with PK, one starts with SK. If you're doing it in live mode, they will not say test. I want to say they say PK live and SK live. Make sure you paste them in here, double check. A good way to check that your payment system is working is go to your checkout. You know, if I go to checkout and I notice that it's not going to work because obviously that's not my information, but if I go to continue and I save the listing, publish and preview, and it takes me to a PayPal payment, and I can see the PayPal username or the business name in that little PayPal screen that pops up, I'm pretty comfortable with it working. Stripe box pops up, pretty comfortable that Stripe's going to take the payment there. Again, you can test it with $1 or test it with your coupons and do what's needed. I still need a logo. I want to show you where that was at, and a banner. The general, or the header. This is a header section. Your logo goes in twice. Once here. Once here. Now that logo looks a little too big. We're going to see what it does. I might need to resize those logos, but I'm just going to save them. Keep in mind your banner is here. Banner, you'll change your banner. Let's see if we can find one real quick. I don't want to waste too much time, but I'm pretty sure I probably have some collages. Okay, maybe not. That's not. There's Mary's site. Oh, this is not going to look good, but it will work. Oh, yeah. Not going to look good only because this has got a green highlight. Let me shut this door real quick. Perfect, got a green highlight, but at least you can see how easily it is to switch the banner. I'd also check to make sure that the dimensions were good, or at least 6x10 or 610. And then I have an opacity here, which I'm gonna put down to 4. It's how much darkness do you want over the banner, right? Let's just save those, now that you know what you're changing. You can make those changes easily. We're going to refresh the page and see. So logo was way too big. I would actually size that down and make it, with an image cropper or an image tool. On the home page, it's fine, right? But remember, I said those inner pages, when you start getting there, you're going to blow up your banner size. So make sure that this is a feasible height. I'd probably shrink it in half and try it again. And if I wasn't happy with that, I'd shrink it in half again. But I think that half would probably do it, and I'd be happy with that. But for now, just for time's sake, you pull this out, use an image resizer that you find on Google, or Photoshop, or Paint, or whatever you're good at, and go with the punches. A banner opacity. Again, this isn't Orlando, so it's not kiting, so this kind of looks a little funny. But depending on how much your picture blends in with your lettering, you might want to darken your photo up or find a photo that's going to accommodate. If you have a really light photo, you're going to have to darken it up so you can see this white text, or if you change your color, so playing around with this is definitely key. Let me show you what not to do, right? So you're here. You want a dark side, you go down to 8. Maybe it looks good. I don't know. We're about to find out. Let's go to 7. Maybe that'll look good. 7, save, refresh. Take a look at it, right? Use your design eye to say, hey, that is way too dark. In between 7 and 4 is something like 6 or 5. So I might try one of those and then just kind of see and work like that. If it gets too busy, maybe I try a different background image. Really happy with what we did here. Again, the size on the logo is kind of throwing me off right now, so let's go back to the home page. Let's shrink our banner because I don't want the site looking crazy. Let's go to 4. And let's just make sure I didn't forget anything. We went over pricing plans. We went over custom styling and CSS. We did banner and background options. We've got the home page dialed in. Categories and stuff, you know how to create a blog, right? I'm not going to go over that. We know what type of footer links we like, what type Tim doesn't like, or Notegetter doesn't like. Linking these pages, we know how to grab those links now that we have them, like the events page link, right click, copy, or I can always grab them from the back end and then just paste them in here. Yeah, let's take a look at just real quick our final pages, make sure I didn't miss anything in here. We have a dashboard. Let's take a look at dashboard and then mobile. Shoot. Dashboard's looking good. My logo kind of tightened up in there. Listingpro did wonderful there. Actually, there's a couple things. Let's cover. So if you click on ad campaigns, you're going to notice when you add a new ad, there's a phone number in here. There's my $2 that people can purchase. You're also going to notice that in the video, whoops, if you go over here, remember that contact link that I put in the beginning? That should be here with no map. The edit profile page also has a misspelled word, it's address. But what you're going to want to do is grab a plugin called Loco Translate. I'll go over it real quick so you can see. Just going to make those 2 changes, and then we're going to take a look at mobile. Now, I showed you how to style in CSS, so, again, I have another full video on that. I'm not going to go into depth on styling in CSS, but I'll show you how I do it. That way you can see a couple of the things that we definitely need to fix. So Loco Translate, I just installed, then I'm going to click on. Alright, so don't want to go over this too much, but I'm going to go see all themes. I don't want to mess with the child theme. I want to mess with the actual theme because there's nothing in the child theme. New language. My language is United States English. My WordPress language is United States English. For some reason, perfect. Right here at the top. And then I don't like keeping it at the bottom one. I'm just going to go ahead and select this one just because I want my theme file to save somewhere else, not where I have to download it every time I update. So there, bam, all I do is start, I'm ready. And normally you don't have to do all that. Normally when you click on Loco Translate, it just brings you to this page where you can select Listingpro and you can edit your language. So here we're going to look for the word address misspelled. There it is. I select it once. I'm going to go ahead and copy it to save a little bit of time and paste it below instead of retyping it and add my second D. I'm also going to go to address second line. I'm going to do the same. Paste it, add my second D. Now I'm just going to save any changes that I made for both, right? The other one was what, 877. There was a phone number in there. For now, I'm going to replace it with my phone number, which is 386. 386 451 5555 for those of you guys who will put me on that list for not liking my video. Perfect. Yeah, so that's what I have there, and now it'll be changed on the front end of the dashboard. Last thing I want to go over is, yes, I kept it on app view, which is my default settings. I like to test things in app mode, per se, so I'm going to make this screen smaller. I'm going to pull in, I use Safari for this, but you can use any browser, new browser window. Now, there's a way to change your user agent. I looked on Google because somebody was like, hey, how do I change my user agent? There's plugins, and because you're on a different browser than me, I can't tell you how to do it. You know, I tell you, if you're using Google Chrome, look on Google Chrome, figure out how to change your user agent. You know, Google will tell you, or they'll have a plugin where you can try it. Doing that allows me to see what my site, and I can edit, right? So I need to be able to see, not just on my mobile phone, but really on a computer. So I'm just pasting the link over here in this browser. That way I can see what's going on like mobile. And it's not going to be 100%. Like this doesn't look 100%. Matter of fact, I'm not even in it. So the way I do it for this browser is I go over to the options, click developer mode, user agent, and I just select the user agent that I want. In this case, iPhone. And again, it's not 100%, but when this refreshes, it'll act like the user agent for the iPhone. And again, not 100%, but you can see that these are my app view that you would see on a phone. The reason I do that is because I definitely want to be able to double check and check the styling for all this. Like these buttons need to come down. Actually, if my logo wasn't so high and it was normal, I wouldn't have this issue. So I'm not going to fix that right now. I'm just going to kind of take a look. It doesn't look like this on mobile. Remember I said not everything is 100%. These won't be cropped off on my mobile. It's actually full width. I am looking at this. This looks okay. This looks okay. And it's not bad. Not bad. One thing you can do is when you're previewing, let's say, your home page, edit with Elementor, you can always do the responsiveness too. So if you made a big title text, like let's just say, and I'm going to mess up the design right now, but edit heading, and I blow up this design, right? So let's just say this looks great like this, but on mobile, that's going to be way too big. It'll probably have 1, 1, 1 going off the page. So down here is a responsive mode button. I'm going to click that once, and notice that, yeah, 1, 1, 1, and it goes off the page. Right click, so here I'm on mobile, here I'm on tablet, here I'm on desktop. If I want to just fix the mobile, I click on mobile, I right click it, and anything with a mobile icon, like right now you don't see it, but if I go into typography, anything with a mobile icon is going to just fix it for mobile. So let's just size that to, okay, 2 lines looks good. What about the text below? We're going to right click, edit, and I should have done this before I created them all as templates. The text editor, remember style, typography. We're going to fix the text there, maybe 2 lines, but the line height is too high, right? So let's do line height like that, maybe like that. Maybe use some padding. Look, it's just for mobile, so padding from the top. Perfect, that fixed me up right there. Matter of fact, let's shrink it up a little bit. So as long as it has a mobile button next to it, you're only adding a mobile. What about tablet? Same thing. I didn't change anything in tablet, so I'm going to right click and then just go through the same thing. And I want to double check all the pages just to make sure that everything kind of, yeah, that looks good. Now I would remember this number normally, so on tablet 42. Now I come down here, right click, edit, typography, 42. And I try to be similar with my tactics instead of just like going random. But that looks good. Blog sections, edit blog grid. Maybe I just want, especially on mobile. Mobile's going to stack them anyway. But maybe on tablet. It doesn't have the tablet view, so I can't just switch tablet view to 2. It's going to change them on all my sections. So I'm going to leave that at 3. And that's what I have for you. So a little bit of the final work. I'll be taking screenshot images of this to post on the page. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a lot from it. This is how to create a site pretty much from start to finish in whatever the time was. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, thanks for buying the premium edition.